What's up, guys? John Summers here from simpleprogrammer.com, and today I want to tell you about how much your voice actually matters, right? I know this is something that you probably haven't heard often enough. I know that with the way the world is today and how dismissive so many people are, and how many people will just not respond to your email or ghost you, that it might seem like what you're doing or what you're saying doesn't matter. It might feel like there's so many people that are overshadowing you, and you might feel lost, right? That a little bit of imposter syndrome that we all experience. But I wanted to talk about this today, and I want to start off by reading this email that I got from a gentleman who had emailed me, who probably didn't expect a response from me, but my way of answering him, of telling him that his message does matter, is by creating this video, right? Giving him an actual video response to something that he probably didn't think I was going to give an email response to. And that's why, I think it is important to understand how much that your voice does matter. But let me go ahead and read this email. So this is from Desh, and Desh said, "Hey, John, I hope this message finds you well. I'm writing this with a heart full of gratitude and a little vulnerability. Your book didn't just teach me about personal branding, it gave me something far more powerful, a belief that someone like me could build a place in this world through honesty, effort, and courage. I come from a background where opportunities don't come easily, and confidence is something you build slowly, step by step. Your words became that first step for me. I took your lessons, prepared my very first talk, and delivered it at IIT Patna. Standing there in front of students, sharing what I learned from you, I felt something I had never felt before, that maybe my journey could matter to someone else. That feeling changed me. Now I'm trying to make this mission. I'm trying to take this mission to more colleges, to write to professors, departments, coordinators. But most emails go unanswered. I don't blame them. I'm still building myself. Yet I don't want to give up. Not after coming this far. John, I can't pay you today, but I promise you this. If I succeed, it will be because someone like you believed in someone like me. And I will pay it forward the same way you pay it forward your wisdom to millions. If you could spare even a small piece of advice, a direction, a suggestion, a simple do or don't, it would mean far more to me than I can express in an email. Your book gave me courage. Your guidance, even a single line, can help me keep walking. Thank you for writing something that reached the person I was and is helping shape the person I'm trying to become. Warm regards, Desh." Now, this message, it struck me when I read this email because Desh gets it, right? He understood this message, and there's so many different things I want to say about this, right? So one is just for me. Sometimes I forget that my voice matters. Sometimes I forget that the books that I wrote, that they impacted people. They allowed some people who never had the opportunity to become a software developer to become a software developer, right? I don't say this lightly. This isn't some kind of like, look at how I've impacted so many lives, and so you should follow me and pay for whatever programs that I have. That's not what this is about, okay? But in reality, even someone like me, who's amassed millions of followers on different social medias and sold hundreds of thousands of copies of my book and spoken on many stages and done all these things in my career, right? Even someone like me, I forget how much my words actually have an impact, how they actually affect and help people, and how important it is that I do create this message, right? Sometimes even myself, I can get hard on myself. I can go get down on myself, and I can start to think, like, what do I really have to offer? What do I have to offer now? Right? There's other people that can say the same things that I say, that can do the same things, that can program, that help other people with their careers or help them build their brands, and I have to realize that it's about the people that you impact. It's not about being the best. It's not about being the most unique. It's not about being the most skilled. Okay, it's about like the individual people that get your message, and that you impact in your life, and that you believe in. Someone like Desh here, right? And so my message is, like I said, it's kind of twofold. So one, it's to me, right? Reading this, it reminds me of how far I've come and how much I've done and how much I've been able to impact people, and that my words do matter. They still matter. And making a message like this, taking the time to create this video, It matters. It has an impact. Maybe it's only a few hundred people at this point that it reaches. It doesn't matter. It still has an impact. Or maybe it's only Dash that sees the video and says, wow, this impacted me, and it encourages and inspires. But, to Dash, what would I say? He asked for some words of encouragement, a piece of advice, a suggestion. Here's what I would say, and I would say this to all of you, which is that it your voice matters. You might not think that you're anything. You might not think that you're going to have the impact that you'd like to have. You might not think that you'll be famous, and you might not be famous someday. But just helping one person, just guiding one person, just giving one person the encouragement, right? Just believing in one person and putting your faith in them, and sharing what you know, and just stepping out in courage and taking the chance. It inspires people. When they see you do it, it inspires people. It's not easy. It's not easy to put yourself out there. It's not easy to face rejection. I still face rejection every single day. It's not easy to do, but it's valuable. It's worth it. And I'll tell you why. It's because that's the thing that actually, it does two things. It changes other people's lives, but it changes your life, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not going to be about the amount of money you made or the girls or whatever it is that you're interested in. Okay, it's not going to be about that, or what kind of fancy car that you drive. It's going to be about the impact that you made on other people, but most importantly, how you've transformed and grown yourself, right? And so, I've talked a lot about building a personal brand and how valuable it is for your career. And it is, right? It's the most valuable thing that you're going to do in your career is to create a brand for yourself. And what do I mean by creating a brand for yourself? I mean putting yourself out there. I mean being vulnerable. I mean making YouTube videos or writing a blog post or creating a podcast or having the guts to speak on a stage or, publishing a book that maybe nobody will read, right? Going through this effort of sharing what you know, even if it's LinkedIn posts that you post, right? By doing that, what's going to happen is you're going to be facing your fears. You're going to be facing the ridicule of the crowd, and you're going to be putting yourself in a vulnerable situation, a very uncomfortable situation. But who grows in their comfort zone? No one. And so if you only put yourself out there for the reason of the self-growth that you will achieve by doing so, do it and keep doing it. Okay? And what you'll find is that as you transform yourself and you grow, other people will grow along with you, and you'll give them the encouragement to step out on their own. Like I said, you can make a lot of money and you can have a lot of success by building your brand and putting yourself out there. I truly believe that. I truly believe it's the best thing that you can do for your career. But beyond that, it's the best thing that you can do for yourself. I was a very shy, introverted kid growing up and as a young adult, and I never thought that I would speak on a stage. I never thought that I would be creating YouTube videos and sharing my knowledge with other people, and that I would be on podcasts and using my voice and sharing my story and talking to people every day and coaching them and helping them. I was afraid. I was afraid of people. I was embarrassed. I was shy. I lacked the self-worth. I lacked the self-discipline that I needed to succeed in life. I was lazy. But this act of putting myself out there, this act of taking the leap and having the courage, even when people told me I couldn't do it, even when people laughed at me or made fun of me, but still persevering and putting myself out there, that transformed everything. It changed everything. It changed internally who I am as a human being. It allowed me to show up in better ways for people, for my family, for my wife, for my daughter, right? I've learned so many lessons by facing my fears, by having that courage, right? And it started with putting myself out there and building my brand. You know what I mean? And it wasn't just for monetary reasons. It's created a fortune in my life. I've made millions of dollars, been able to travel all over the world, meet all kinds of famous developers and people that I highly respected, and authors, and to make friends with people that I never imagined that I'd be able to make friends with, and live all kinds of experiences. But the most important thing that it has done is it's allowed me to fully not fully, you'll never fully actualize, but to go down the path of self-actualization and to become a person that I never thought I would be able to become. What I would tell you, my advice to you, is that the same is within you. There is a lion within all of us, and in all of this cruft that's preventing you from being who you are, you have to dispel that. And the only way to dispel that is to step out into the light, is to share the knowledge, the wisdom that you have. It's to be in a vulnerable situation where you could get hurt, where you can get rejected, but you have to face it over and over again. If you're going to accomplish anything great in life, if you want to actually actualize, self-actualize, and become the person that you're capable of becoming, this is a necessary step to do it. And yeah, you can live a perfectly normal life and just go on writing code and being a developer and never sharing your light with the world. You can do that. And you might even be happy. But it will not be your full potential. I promise you that. And you might say, well, if everybody did this, then, how would that work? Everyone's not going to do this. Everyone is not going to step out. Everyone is not going to take the chance. Everyone is not going to get on stage. Everyone is not going to write a book. Everyone is not going to make a YouTube video. Everyone is not going to do a podcast. Everyone is not going to write a blog post. They're not going to put themselves out there. Everyone is not going to do it. But the question that I ask you is, will you? And will you continue to persevere, regardless of what people say? Because the thing you have to understand is that by doing this, you will impact people. You will change lives. You will inspire even one person. Sometimes, I do a lot of things that don't scale. I was just on a call with a guy yesterday for my Rockstar Developer University program, and this gentleman, he's kind of an older gentleman, okay, not super old, but he had some bad beats in life, and he was in a bad situation financially, right? Some of it he got himself into trouble with, but I tried to see how he could afford the program financially, because he really wanted to do it, and he really wanted to build his brand and get himself out of the situation. And when I saw that there was no way that this was going to happen, and that he was in such a bind that really the only way I could see him getting out of it was getting the help to actually build his brand so that he could build his business, so he could have the income coming in, I just let him in the program for free. I probably shouldn't say this, right? I mean, now am I going to get a bunch of people begging for me to let them in the program for free? No, I'm not like, the point of it is this, is that, like, when I thought about this, obviously that's not a great way to run a business, is letting people into your expensive program for free. But, this guy, like, it could really impact and change his life. But more important than anything, I think is that just knowing that someone would actually care enough about you, a stranger who just met you, to let you, to give you a gift of that value. I think that's important. I think that's impactful. I think that's what's missing from the world today, right? And that's why I really like what Dash said, is he said that, if I succeed, it will be because someone like you believed in someone like me. I can't pay you, but I can promise you this, right? And I will pay it forward the same way you paid forward your wisdom to millions. Paying it forward, making an impact on one person's life, is something that there can't be a price that's put on it. It's immeasurable. And so you might not think that it matters, that your voice matters. You might not think, I mean, I didn't think so. When I was first starting out, when I was first writing my blog post, I thought, who am I? I really thought that. I thought, who am I? I didn't have this ego. I wasn't arrogant. I just thought, who am I to write this? Like, do my words even matter? Like, I'm not a famous author. I'm not this guy. Like, what right do I have to put my opinion out there? But had I never done that, there's a lot of lives, thousands of lives, that would not have been impacted and would have not have gotten the chances that they've gotten because of what I've been able to show them, because I stepped out and I took the risk and I faced the rejection. So your way of paying it forward, if you've ever had a mentor in your life, if you ever had someone that helped you, if you've ever had that guidance, your way of paying it forward is to do it yourself. Build your own brand. Get out there and put your name out there. Put your words out there. Put your heart out there. That's what I'm asking you to do. And I can't guarantee that you'll be successful in terms of monetary means. I mean, a lot of guys that I've worked with have become very, very successful by doing that. But that's not the reason to do it. Not the primary reason. Yeah, it's good for your career, but the primary reason to do it is because of two things. One, how it will grow you as a human being when you face the rejection and the vulnerable state and the uncomfortableness of putting yourself out there in the open. And number two, the people that you will impact, that you will change lives through. And even if it's just one life, it matters. So I'll leave you with that. And Dash, I appreciate your email, and I appreciate what you've written. And I appreciate that you've stepped out and that you've taken that chance and that you've faced this rejection. And don't give up. Just because you're getting a lot of unanswered emails, you never know. Hey, you reach out to me. You probably didn't expect to get a response from me. Probably really didn't expect to get a whole video. But there are people out there who still care. There are people out there who you will reach with your message, but you have to keep on trying and you have to put your heart in it. And I can see, reading this email, that you put your heart into this. This isn't some AI generated email that you mass sent out. I can see that you care. I can see that you will pay it forward. So my message to you is, don't give up. Keep on doing what you're doing. I believe in you. Your message matters. Now, if you want some help, if you've watched this video, and if you want some help building your brand and you want to get out there and put your name out there and put yourself out there and put your heart out there, like I said, there's a link down below where you can join Rockstar Developer University. We can jump on a call and see if that would be a good fit for you. I'd love to help you if I can, okay? But I want to make sure that you're a good fit as well, because it is important, the message that we put out there. And you do have a message. And maybe you need some help refining your voice and figuring out how to do this. I'm happy to help you to do that. So if you're interested, let's book a call and let's talk and see. But regardless, whether you work with me or you work with someone else or you do it on your own, get out there. Say what you have to say. Share what you have to share and impact someone. Your words matter.